and
Yeah,
not like,
because I told her my symptoms. I said, what happened was I fainted. That's where I got this gash from right here. I fainted. I got up, everything was spinning. I fainted, fell out, and I had blood all over my face. And I'm like, okay, it's time to go to the doctor. So when I explained to her what happened, she just went into a panic attack, and it didn't help. But she didn't understand it either. But what were you going to say, Brandy? With
no, this is the
because I
thing.
want to know if was that considered mental health issues that I was having back then.
Well, everything is mental health, but to be specific, like something that I've been talking a lot about lately is how I don't want to like overgeneralize, but when people think of depression, they think of somebody that's like sitting in a corner crying all the time or kind of suicidal, and that can be it. But among a lot of women of color and Black women or resilient women, I won't even just say racially, our depressiveness comes out in irritability and like a shortness, like your temper. That's how it
Yeah.
manifests. It's because you're like highly functioning, like you still do what you got to do, but your mood, like you're emotionally dysregulated all the time, and the anxiety too, like that go to the doctor. That's like anxious. That's like an
Yeah.
anxious response. That's not meant to be mean, but it's like I'm feeling uncomfortable, so I'm about to make you hurry up, hurry up. So yes,
Yeah.
you were going through a depressive spell, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you know our mother. She doesn't express herself in the best way a lot of times. So when she heard all of the symptoms, I think immediately she just went negative with it. And knowing her, she just started praying and didn't know what to tell me to do but go to the doctor. But
Yeah.
her reaction just put even more fear inside of me because I'm the one that had to deal with it. I didn't know what was going on when I told her. I just said, this and this and this and this is happening. What should I do? Go to the doctor. And I'm like, okay. But
You know
I think, what are some signs to recognize as far as mental health or even depression? Because a lot of women are depressed when it comes to fibroids, and they do separate themselves. They do the same exact thing I did because we don't talk about this issue, so they're not. It's not normalized, especially in our culture. Even though African Americans receive it more than any culture, it's crazy. But how do you recognize those symptoms, and how do you work through that? And that's my last question.
well, you can see, you can see some of the things that might not always look like it's mental health in a sense. Like for instance, overworking out, right? So
Mhm.
that's a good thing, right? Go to the gym. But then somebody's coping with something, so they're overly working out. You know what I'm saying? In probably more traditional ways in which you could think about it, overeating, over drinking, lack of energy.
I was an emotional eater. I was cooking every day. I gained weight too. That is true. I did
Yeah,
gain weight. I mean, I was separating myself from everybody. I didn't go to work. I didn't want to do anything. Scared to leave the house, so I just stayed in the house and ate and watched
yeah,
TV.
yeah. Your body, it's because your body talks to you. You know what I'm saying? Like your body gonna tell you something's wrong if you sleeping too
Yep.
much, you don't have no energy. So all of those things, and there's more. Brand or just what you thinking,
Well, that my body was talking to me to let me know there is an issue with my body, but
right?
I guess the signs of depression. How do I recognize that? I didn't even notice I had emotional depression issues or even mental health issues until after the fact when I talked to you guys and I talked to other people and I recognized, you know what, those are some symptoms I seen in myself back then. I don't see them now because I'm opening up now. But back then I had the symptoms of shutting down, emotional, crying all the time, eating, just the separation even from family made it worse.
But that's your body still talking to you, right? Like like if you don't sleep enough, you know what I'm saying? Your body's
I
gonna
ain't sleep.
act accordingly. You know what I mean? You're gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? So your body talks to you to say that there's something physically wrong with you, and your body talks to you to say there's something mentally or spiritually wrong with you
I
or
personally,
going on.
Yeah.
personally believe that it's
So what advice would you give people that's probably going through what I'm going through right now? They have the symptoms of fibroids, back pain, pelvic pain, constant urination, extended menstruals, 15, 20 days, blood clots coming out the sides of your hand. When they have these different symptoms and it's affecting their everyday lives, what advice would you give them as far as how to deal with it? Of course, I would say definitely get checked out, but as a professional,
Yeah, because the
How would
other
you?
thing is like, don't everything you said just feels so unsexy. Like it just feels like you probably just felt so gross, like in your body. So it just so like to Dr. Joe's point to my husband, my babe, to his point, like it's a mind body soul connection. It's not separate. So a lot of people experience depression and anxiety in their body, like too. Like you get a lot of headaches, or you're really really fatigued. It's really hard to differentiate if it's just the fibroids or just the depression. It's both. And I really want to hear what Shay was about to say, because I feel like the best way to know is you. Like when you start noticing yourself behaving different or thinking different or feeling different, because everybody's a little bit different. So the first thing to do is just get real with yourself. Like I'm acting
Yeah.
different than I used to, or like, oh, I had extra cookies today. Not to judge yourself, but just to take inventory.
Work. Yeah. So finding, recognizing there is an issue, and then trying to solve that core issue. Yeah, that's good to recognize and accept that there's a problem going on, basically, because you're not acting normal. MJ, did you notice anything different about me back then? I don't know if y'all noticed. I literally just disappeared. Like I didn't talk to anybody. I wasn't answering the phone. Did y'all notice that?
You know what it is with you? I think that I was also going through, my own, what I'm saying, mental situation at the same time. So I think you probably were going through the same motions that I was going through, being away, I might have been eating too much, drinking. So the things that probably was going on with you was going on with me at the same time. So I couldn't see it in you. I couldn't see it.
Mm,
Yeah, that's real, bro.
So sometimes you have to, just having a conversation about mental health around the people around you and your loved ones and the people that know you. It's important for them to know. So when they see certain things, because sometimes you want, sometimes it's impossible because you're just going through the money. You're so deep in it, you can't see it. So the people around you need to be able to speak up and say, make you aware of things that you're doing. So then you can start looking deeper into your everyday, motion and movement, what you're doing, your eating habits, working out, if you're drinking, whatever. You might be, once the people around you open up and speak and they're not afraid to tell you, look, you need to start watching this and watch that. So that's one thing I think is important.
yeah. So I would tell the people out there, we're going to close this out. I would tell the people out there, if you're going through fibroids, just know that you don't have to suffer in silence. Not
Mhm.
only, I would reach out to your family because it's really good to have that support system so you know that you're not alone. But on top of that, reach out to USA Fibroid Centers. They have a great support system there. They will let you know your options. They will go over all of the symptoms and really just go through everything thoroughly with you. And they really, really will make you comfortable. That's why I'm very comfortable now. I opened up to my family. I know I have a support system, and I know more of my options today versus the last time I had fibroids. So
Shay,
again, reach out to USA Fibroid Centers. Go to their website, and there's locations located around the country. Find the nearest one near you. And if you're having any of the symptoms, back pain, pelvic pain, constant urination, extended menstruals that are not normal, heavy menstruals that are not normal, blood clots coming out the size of your palm, or even constant miscarriages, you might be a candidate for fibroids. And keep in mind that it's highly likely you will have it sometime in your life, because it's 70% of all women will catch a case of fibroids by the time they're 50. So just be aware of the symptoms. Is there any last words anybody have to say before we close this out? Joe,
I just want to,
MJ, Brandy?
I just want to throw out there, because we didn't say this, and like we always say, go to the doctor, go get checked out. But there's also some history of why we don't go to the doctor, and so we got to try to figure out how can we release that fear of not going to the doctor because of some of the things that we've seen in the past, or even in situations of fibroids, people weren't given all of the or all of the possibilities of what they could do to deal with them, and now they're like, man, I don't even know about going to the doctor. They didn't tell me this or they didn't tell me that, right? So just doing whatever we can to get around the people that
Especially
give us
high
all
in
our
men,
options.
because I think a lot of men like to diagnose themselves in different areas that for whatever reason. I think men, am I right, Brandy? Men don't like to go to the doctor. They rather diagnose themselves. It's so weird.
It's true.
Is
It's
that a
that
culture
stigma,
thing, you
but
think?
it's that stigma for real. But I'm here to tell y'all, particularly black men and women, we are starting to get our healing. I've got just as many Black male clients as I do women, and they're amazing, and they getting their
It's
healing.
changing.
We got to change it, y'all. I respect the conversation today, and even like you sharing your story, and bro, you kind of talking about one of the things that can prevent us from even noticing is our own struggle. Like, I think that's so powerful. So the last thing I'll say is just I'm sending peace and blessings to everybody that's listening and watching, because it is a struggle.
It is. So be sure to check out USA Fibroid Centers, you guys. Recognize if there is an issue, you're not alone in this situation. It's very common. Fibroids are very common. And you're right, Brandy. We're opening up not only with fibroids, but we're opening up to a lot of different situations that are going on in the world today. And I think just speaking up and speaking out on the situation is healthy. When you recognize there's a problem, you speak out on it, and then we can find out what the core issue is. So know that you're not alone. Again, check out the website, USA Fibroid Centers. And thank you guys for talking to me, sister, Dr. Brandy Johnson, Dr. Joe Johnson, and my baby brother, MJ. I love you all. And we will collectively have a conversation on my current fibroids, and we'll figure out how to move forward with that. So I love you guys, and thank you for talking to me on here.
I love you.
Mwah.
All right, love you too. Peace.
All right, peace out.